Hey, imagine this. You're on a luxury cruise. The sun's setting over the Caribbean, your kids are laughing, and life feels perfect for once. Then, your past walks right through your cabin door, and it's holding a secret that could change everything. That's where we start today, with Emma Carter, a single mom who's fought tooth and nail for her twin boys, and Ryan Hayes, a tech mogul, who's about to lose it all for a family he didn't even know he had. 8 years ago, he walked away. Now, he's back, and the cameras, the rumors, and the stakes are higher than ever. Will they crash and burn, or find a way to stitch this broken mess back together? Stick around, cause this story's got twists, tears, and a whole lot of heart. And trust me, you won't see the ending coming. Hit that subscribe button and let's dive in, cause this ship's about to sail into some wild waters. The Pacific Dream hummed with life as it pulled away from Miami's bustling port, its gleaming white hull slicing through the turquoise waters of the Atlantic. Seagulls screeched overhead, circling the ship like nosy neighbors, while the salty breeze whipped through the air, carrying the faint scent of sunscreen and freedom. For Emma Carter, this cruise was a lifeline, a rare chance to give her 7-year-old twin boys, Liam and Ethan, a memory worth keeping. She'd scraped together every penny from her accounting job in Atlanta, skipping lattes and late-night Target runs for a year just to afford the tickets. Now, standing at the ship's railing with the boys tugging at her hands, she felt the weight of that sacrifice lighten, if only for a moment. "Look, Mom! It's huge!" Liam shouted, his sandy brown hair flopping into his eyes as he pointed at the ship's towering decks. He was the curious one, always asking questions, sometimes too many for Emma to keep up with. Beside him, Ethan bounced on his toes, his identical mop of hair bouncing too. "Can we go swimming now? Please," he begged, his voice bright with that wide-eyed excitement only a kid could muster. Emma smiled, brushing a hand through their hair. "Soon, buddy. Let's get settled first." The terminal behind them buzzed with passengers, families lugging overstuffed suitcases, couples snapping selfies, and a few solo travelers sipping overpriced iced coffees. Emma clutched 3 boarding passes in her sweaty palm, guiding the boys through the crowd toward the check-in counter. Overhead, a scratchy intercom crackled. "Departure for Nassau, Bahamas, in 30 minutes. All aboard!" Liam spun around, nearly knocking into a guy with a roller bag. "Oh, easy there," Emma laughed, pulling him back. She glanced at her phone, checking her bank app one last time. The balance teetered at $47.82. Her stomach twisted. But when she saw the boys' grinning faces, it didn't sting as much. This trip was for them. For once, she'd be the mom who said yes instead of maybe next time. A few yards away, a sleek black Tesla SUV screeched to a stop at the VIP drop-off. Out stepped Ryan Hayes, all sharp jawline and sharper suit, his silver-streaked hair catching the late afternoon sun. At 35, he was the golden boy of San Francisco's tech scene, CEO of Hayes Tech, a company that turned clunky software into gold. His polished loafers clicked against the pavement as he strode toward the private boarding lane, ignoring the stares from a gaggle of sunburned tourists. His assistant, Mia, trailed behind, her heels clacking as she rattled off updates. "The Japanese investors want the meeting tonight, Ryan. Suite 12A. We can't screw this up. It's a 9-figure deal." Ryan nodded, only half listening, his mind already on the pitch. He adjusted the cufflinks on his navy Tom Ford suit, the faint scent of his Creed cologne mixing with the sea air. This cruise wasn't a vacation. It was a chess move. Seal the deal, expand into Asia, and cement his name in the tech world. Nothing could go wrong. Not now. Inside, the Pacific Dream was a floating palace, marble floors that gleamed under chandelier light, walls lined with abstract art that probably cost more than Emma's rent, and a grand staircase spiraling up to the top decks. Emma herded Liam and Ethan through the reception area, dodging a waiter balancing a tray of neon cocktails. The boys gawked at everything. The oversized porthole windows, the shimmering pool visible through glass doors, the faint thump of a live band playing somewhere above. "Mom, look! A slide!" Ethan squealed, pointing at the twisting water slide snaking above the deck. Liam tugged her sleeve. "Can we go now? Please?" "Hold your horses," Emma said, her voice warm but firm. "We've got to find our room first." She glanced at the map on her phone, leading them down a quieter corridor on deck 4. Their cabin, 4C, was small but cozy. 2 bunk beds with crisp blue sheets, a round window framing the endless ocean, and a faint hum from the ship's engines vibrating through the walls. Lego pieces and a couple of stuffed sharks were already scattered across the floor from the boys' backpacks. "This is awesome," Liam declared, climbing the ladder to claim the top bunk. Ethan flopped onto the bottom one, giggling as the mattress squeaked. Emma set their duffel bag down, her shoulders relaxing for the first time all day. "All right, no jumping. We're not the only ones on this ship." Up on deck 12, Ryan stepped into his suite, a sprawling stateroom with floor-to-ceiling windows, a private balcony, and furniture that screamed money. A bottle of chilled Dom Perignon sat on the table, a welcome gift he didn't plan to touch. He tossed his leather briefcase onto the king-size bed, nodding at the view. "Not bad," he muttered. Mia hovered by the door, scrolling her iPad. "They messed up the meeting room booking. I'll confirm with the staff, but it might be 12B instead of 12E now." Ryan's jaw tightened. "Fix it. I don't care how. This has to be perfect." He didn't notice the irony, that perfection was about to slip through his fingers like sand. Night fell fast over the ocean, the sky turning a deep indigo speckled with stars. Emma took the boys to the buffet on deck 8, a sprawling spread of burgers, fries, and a dessert table piled high with chocolate-dipped everything. The air smelled like grease and sugar, and the twins' eyes lit up like it was Christmas. "Can we have cake first?" Ethan asked, already reaching for a plate. "Dinner first, then sweets," Emma said, steering them toward the chicken nuggets. She caught snippets of chatter from nearby tables. Some big-shot CEOs on board, they say, but brushed it off. Her world was Liam and Ethan, not gossip. Back in his suite, Ryan paced the balcony, phone pressed to his ear. "Tell them we're ready. 9 figures, no compromises." He hung up, glancing at a text from Mia. "Meeting confirmed, 12EB, 10 p.m. He grabbed his coffee, cold now, but he didn't care, and headed out, rehearsing his pitch in his head. The corridor stretched ahead, lined with plush carpet and soft lighting. He didn't notice the room numbers ticking down. 12th, 12ec, 12ec, until he stopped at what he thought was the right door. The number read 4C, not 12EB, but in his tunnel vision, he didn't catch it. He turned the knob, expecting a conference table and a team of suits. Instead, he stepped into chaos. The cabin was dim, the only light spilling from a flickering bulb above the bunks. Lego bricks crunched under his loafers, and a stuffed shark stared up at him from the floor. Emma bolted upright from the bottom bunk, her hair a mess, eyes wide with panic. "What the hell, Ryan?" she hissed, scrambling to her feet. She wore an old Braves t-shirt and sweatpants, a far cry from the polished girl he'd known 8 years ago. Ryan froze, his coffee sloshing in the cup. "Emma? Why, what are you doing here?" Before she could answer, Liam sat up on the top bunk, rubbing his eyes. "Mom, who's that?" "He's tall." Ethan peeked out from the bottom, clutching a blanket. "Is he a superhero?" "He's got a fancy suit." Emma's face drained of color. She lunged forward, shoving Ryan toward the door. "Get out! Now!" But Ryan's eyes locked on the boys. Those sandy brown curls, that sharp little nose. His nose. His breath caught, and the coffee slipped from his hand, splashing dark stains across the carpet. "Emma, are they?" he started, voice cracking. She cut him off, her whisper fierce. "Don't you dare get out, Ryan. You don't belong here." Liam tilted his head, unfazed by the tension. "Mom, does he know you? Is he lost?" Ethan giggled. "He looks funny with coffee on his shoes." Ryan stumbled back, heart hammering. 8 years ago, he'd walked away from her, chasing a dream in Silicon Valley. Now, staring at those boys. A cold sweat prickled his neck. Were they his? Emma slammed the door in his face, the lock clicking shut. He stood there, alone in the corridor, the hum of the ship's engines drowning out his racing thoughts. His phone buzzed. Mia, probably. But he didn't look. All he could see were those two little faces, mirrors of his own childhood photos. The deal, the suite, the empire he'd built, it all faded. Something bigger was staring him in the face, and he didn't know if he was ready for it. Hey, you're wondering whether Ryan's gonna knock on that door again, or if Emma's gonna let him in. Stick around. Hit that subscribe button and drop a comment with your guesses. What would you do if you were Ryan right now? The sun climbed high over the Pacific Dream by morning, casting golden streaks across the ocean that shimmered like a postcard from paradise. On deck 7, the air smelled of pancakes and sea salt, the breakfast buffet buzzing with families piling plates with bacon and kids darting between tables. Emma sat near a window, her hands wrapped around a chipped mug of black coffee, watching Liam and Ethan wrestle over the last blueberry muffin. She hadn't slept. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Ryan's stunned face, the coffee splattered on her cabin floor, those boys staring at him with innocent curiosity. Her stomach churned, a mix of anger and dread she couldn't shake. "Mom, can I have it?" Ethan whined, tugging the muffin from Liam's grip. Liam scowled, crossing his arms. "You got the last one yesterday." "Mom, tell him." Emma forced a smile, splitting the muffin in half. "There, now you both win. Eat up. We're hitting the pool after this." The boys grinned, crumbs flying as they dug in, oblivious to the storm brewing in her head. 8 years since Ryan Hayes walked out of her Atlanta apartment with a half-assed "I'll call you" and a suitcase full of ambition. She'd been 24, broke and pregnant, alone when the plus sign showed up on that drugstore test. Now he was here, a ghost in a fancy suit, crashing into her life like a wrecking ball. Up on deck 12, Ryan stood on his balcony, the wind ruffling his unbuttoned shirt. He hadn't slept either. His king-size bed was still pristine, the pillows untouched. His phone lay on the glass table, buzzing with missed calls from Mia and texts about the investors. "Meetings at 10 tonight. Don't be late." He ignored it, gripping the railing until his knuckles whitened. Those boys, Liam and Ethan, he'd caught their names in the chaos, kept flashing in his mind. The way Liam's brow furrowed, just like his own when he was pissed. Ethan's goofy grin, a carbon copy of the kid in his old Polaroids. He'd left Emma behind for a shot at Silicon Valley, a startup gig that turned into Haze Tech. He hadn't looked back, until now. The corridor outside Emma's cabin was quiet when Ryan showed up an hour later, his loafers scuffing the carpet. He'd swapped the suit for a polo and jeans, but the nervous energy still clung to him like sweat. He raised a fist to knock, then hesitated, replaying last night. The door flew open before he could decide. Emma, in a faded denim jacket and sneakers, froze mid-step, a laundry bag slung over her shoulder. "You've got to be kidding me," she snapped, her voice low but sharp. "What do you want, Ryan?" "I just need to talk," he said, hands up like he was surrendering. 5 minutes. Please. She glared, her hazel eyes blazing, but something in his face, maybe the bags under his eyes, maybe the way his voice cracked, made her pause. She stepped back, letting him in, but kept the door cracked. Liam and Ethan were sprawled on the floor, battling it out over a Lego spaceship. "Stay quiet," she warned. "They don't need to hear this." Ryan nodded, stepping over a rogue Lego brick. Cabin smelled like sunscreen and grape juice, a kid's world he'd never known. He glanced at the boys, then back at Emma. Last night, those kids, are they mine? His voice was barely above a whisper, but it hit her like a punch. She crossed her arms, nails digging into her sleeves. You don't get to waltz in here and ask that like it's nothing. You left, Ryan. You didn't call, didn't text. Nothing. I was alone with them. He flinched, running a hand through his hair. I didn't know, Emma. I swear. If I'd known... She cut him off, stepping closer, her voice trembling. Known what? That I was pregnant. That I spent 9 months puking my guts out, then years working doubles at a shitty diner to keep them fed. You didn't care enough to find out. Tears stung her eyes, but she blinked them back, refusing to break in front of him. Liam looked up from the Lego pile, frowning. Mom, you okay? Ethan tilted his head, clutching a plastic wing. Why's she mad at you, mister? Ryan's throat tightened. He crouched down, forcing a smile. Hey guys, I'm just an old friend of your mom's. We're catching up. Ethan grinned. You know how to make paper boats? Ooh. Do you know how to make paper boats? My friend says dads are good at that. The word dads hung in the air like a grenade. Emma's breath hitched, and she turned away, pressing a hand to her mouth. Ryan's heart stopped. He looked at Emma, her back rigid, then at Ethan's wide, hopeful eyes. Yeah, I can figure it out, he said, voice shaky. He stood facing her again. Emma, tell me the truth. Are they mine? She spun around, tears spilling now, her whisper raw. Ice, Ryan. They're yours. I found out 2 weeks after you left. I called you over and over, but you were gone. Off chasing your big tech dream while I was stuck raising our kids. The room spun. Ryan staggered back, catching himself on the bunk's edge. 8 years ago, he'd been a cocky 27-year-old, sleeping on a buddy's couch in San Francisco, coding until his fingers bled. He told himself he'd call Emma once he made it, once he had something to show for it. But weeks turned into months, then years, and she'd faded into a memory he buried under boardroom wins and private jet. Now here she was, her voice breaking, telling him he'd missed everything. I'm sorry, he choked out, barely audible. I didn't know. I messed up, Emma. But I'm here now, she laughed, bitter and hollow. Here now. You think that fixes it? They don't even know you. I don't even know you anymore. Liam climbed down from the bunk, tugging her hand. Mom, don't cry. Is he a bad guy? Ethan piped up, oblivious. He's not bad, he said. He'd make boats. Emma wiped her face, kneeling to hug them. He's not bad, sweetie. Just someone I used to know. She shot Ryan a look, half fury, half heartbreak. You need to go. This isn't your world. He nodded, throat burning, and stumbled out, the door clicking shut behind him. Outside, the ship's hum swallowed his footsteps as he leaned against the wall, head in his hands. Those boys were his sons, and he'd lost 8 years he could never get back. On deck 10, the pool deck thumped with a steel drum band, kids splashing in the shallow end while parents sipped margaritas under umbrellas. Emma took Liam and Ethan up there after Ryan left, needing the noise to drown out her thoughts. The boys raced to the water slide, their squeals cutting through the chatter. She sat on a lounge chair, sunglasses hiding her red eyes, replaying every word. He didn't know. Maybe that was true, but it didn't erase the nights she'd cried herself to sleep. The morning she'd faked a smile for the boys, when all she wanted was to scream. Nearby, Ryan stood by the railing, staring at the horizon. His phone buzzed again. Mia, frantic about the meeting. He silenced it. The deal didn't matter right now. All he could think about was Emma's tears, Ethan's boat question, Liam's protective frown. He'd screwed up, bigger than he'd ever imagined, but walking away again wasn't an option. Not this time. The Pacific dream sliced through the Caribbean waves, the midday sun turning the deck into eye furnace. Ace on deck tam. The buffet hall was eye circus. Plates clattered, kids shrieked over ice cream cones, and the air smelled like a mix of fried chicken and sunscreen. Emma sat at the corner table, her fingers tapping nervously on a plastic tray. William and Ethan were across from her, their faces smeared with ketchup as they demolished a pile of fries. Shed barely touched her burger, her stomach knotted tighter than a sailor's rope. William's face, pale, stunned, pleading, kept flashing into her mind. He was their father. She'd said it out loud, and now there was no taking it back. "Mom, can we get more fries?" Ethan asked, licking salt off his fingers. William nodded, kicking his legs under the table. "Yeah, these are gone already." Emma forced a grin, sliding the tray toward them. "Go for it, champs. Just don't make yourselves sick before the pool," he said over back inch, giggling as they fought over the last crispy one. She leaned back, sipping her iced tea, trying to focus on their chatter. Ishibu, her eyes kept darting around the room, half expecting Ryan to pop up again. That damn polo shirts and guilty look haunting her. Across the ship, on deck Georgie High, Ryan sat in his sweat, the icy blasting cold air over his clammy skin. His laptop glowed on the desk, a spreadsheet of projections for the Japanese deal staring back at him. Mia paced behind him, her heels clicking like a metronome. Ryan, the investors are freaking out. They heard you missed the morning call. Something about a personal issue. You have got to get your head into the game. Tonight's meeting is make or break. Mihail rubbed his temples, the headache pulsing behind his eyes. Emitano, Mia. Emma will be there. Just give me a minute. She stopped, arms crossed. A minute, we've been off since last night. What's going on? He didn't answer, his gaze diverting to the balcony. Those boys, his boys. He could still hear Ethan's voice. Dads are good at that. I see Emma. Tears. He sighed, grabbing her iPad. Fine. We'll handle the prep. But don't freak on me, Ryan. This is 9 figures. Aisha stormed out, the door slamming shut. He slumped into the chair, the weight of it all crashing down. He'd built an empire, but at what cost? Back at the buffet, trouble was brewing. Guy in a loud Hawaiian shirts, mid-40s, sunband nose, and a Nikon slung around his neck, sat 2 tables over, pretending to sip eye coke. His eyes kept flicking to Emma and the twins, his phone angled just enough to snap eye photo. I click. Emma didn't notice. Too busy wiping Ethan's hands with a napkin. Click. Liam glanced over, squinting. Mom, why is that guy looking at us? She turned, catching the glint of the lens, and her heart sank. They ignored him, but probably just taking pics of the ship. But she knew better. She'd seen that look before, back when she worked at a diner in Atlanta, serving gohi to nosy locals who whispered about her poor single mom story. Aisha pulled out her phone, scrolling Instagram to distract herself. It was when she saw it. A blurry shot of Ryan stepping out of her cabin last night, posted by some cruise vlogger with the caption, Tech mogul Ryan High's caught inch late night mystery. B. Host the woman. Her breath hitched. 50 likes, 10 comments. Is that his secret family? Scandal alert. Oh my God, she muttered, shoving the phone back into her purse. This Hawaiian shirts guy snapped another photo, her with the boys this time, and stood, heading for the exit. She wanted to chase him, rip the camera from his hands. But Liam, you You look mad. You okay? You look mad. Bisha forced a smile, ruffling his hair. M to M times CT. Let's finish up and hit the arcade. They nodded oblivious, but her hands shook as she stacked their plates. It wasn't just gossip. It was her life, spinning out for the world to gawk at. By late afternoon, the rumor mill was churning. On deck MG, the pool deck thumped with reggae beats, the waterside packed with screaming kids. Bijemma under an umbrella, her sunglasses hiding the worry in her eyes. Liam and Ethan splashed into the shallow end, their laughter cutting through the noise. Bichette hoped the sun and chlorine would wash away the panic, but her phone kept buzzing. Texts from her best friend, Jess, back in Atlanta. Girl, you're trending on Twitter. Secret family scandal, what's happening? BI link followed. I grainy photo of her and the boys at breakfast. Ryan into the background. CL hides hidden kids. The resemblance is uncanny. Her chest tightened. She clicked then winked, scrolling through comments. Deadbeat dad vibes. Wiso's twins look just like him. DNA test when. She slammed the phone face down, her breath shallow. This was her worst nightmare. Strangers picking apart her boys like they were tabloid bait. Bisha glanced at Liam, cannonballing into the pool, and Ethan waving at her with high goofy grin. Bessie didn't deserve this. Upstairs, Ron's phone was blowing up too. Mia burst into his sweat, her face flushed. You see this? Twitter I miss. Secret family scandal is trending. VC investors are spooked. Ryan, they're asking if you're dodging them for some baby mama drama. You've got to fix this. He grabbed his phone, scrolling the feed. He said it was the photo from last night. Then another from the buffet. The boys' faces clear as day. His stomach dropped. Jesus, he muttered, zooming inch. Liam's frown, Ethan's smile, his features, staring back at him. I didn't sign up for this, he said, tossing the phone onto the couch. Mia Gullardo. Yeah, well, neither did they. The Japanese team's threatening to pull out unless you explain yourself. Tonight's meeting isn't just about the deal anymore. It's about damage control. She paused, softened. May. What's the deal with the woman and those kids? Anyway, Ryan sunk into the armchair, head in his hands. They're mine, Mia. Mine, Mia, ma. Didn't know, as inch. You're right, Dad, he nodded. The horse feeling for BCM walked out on her 8 years ago. Didn't know she was pregnant. Now, this Mia whistled low. Okay, that's a lot. But you've got to get ahead of it. The press is gonna eat you alive, and her too. He stood, passing by him, not letting that happen. Emma told her that much. Back at the pool, Emma's phone buzzed again. Jess, calling this time. She stepped away from the boys, ducking behind a palm tree. Jess, it's a nightmare. She whispered, voice cracking. Ryan's here. He knows about the twins, and now the whole ship's talking. Jess gasped. Ryan highs, the tech guy, holy krapu. Em, what are you gonna do? Emma leaned against the trunk, the rough bark digging into her back. Emmet don't know. Keep them safe. Made a guess. But people are taking pictures. It's everywhere. Beast then. Jess sighed. Farm. You're tougher than this. If it's their dad, make him step up or make him leave. Don't let these vultures ruin your trip. Emma nodded, tears prickling. Yeah, thanks. Jess, she hung up. turning back to the pool. Liam waved, shouting, Mom, watch me dive. She forced eye thumbs up, but her mind was racing. Safe. How could she keep them safe when the world was closing in? Night fell, the ship's lights twinkling against the black sea. Liam stood in his suite, staring at his reflection in the balcony glass. The meeting loomed. 10 p.m. Suitemad have hair just this tie. The seal cool against his fingers, but his thoughts were on Emma. Eason, Liam and Ethan had lost 8 years, 8 birthdays, 8 Christmases. He could not lose them again. Not to gossip, not to his own stupidity. He grabbed his phone, texting Mia, tell him Bell's handling this Maya. Anyway, downstairs, Emma tucked the boys into their bunks, the cabin quiet, except for the soft creak of the ship. Liam yawned, clutching his shark plushie. Mom, why were people staring at us today? Ethan mumbled, half asleep. Ethan mumbled, yeah. It was weird. She brushed their hair back, her voice steady despite. Just folks being nosy. Don't worry about it. Okay, you're my superheroes. That's all that matters. Is he not dead? Drifting off. But her smile faded as she stood. The world outside that door was getting louder, and she wasn't sure how long she could keep it out. Hey, things are heating up fast. Will Ryan shut down the rumors, or is Emma about to face a bigger storm? Smash that subscribe button and leave a comment. What do you think's coming next for this family? The Pacific Dream rocked gently under a blazing afternoon sun, its decks alive with the hum of vacationers. The main pool area was a splashy chaos. Kids shrieked as they zoomed down the water slide. Water guns sprayed each every direction. An ice chill drum band that I lazy beat near the bar. The air smelled like chlorine, coconut sunscreen, and the faint tang of spilled piña coladas. Emma sat on a striped lounge chair, her flip-flops kicked off, a worn-out baby's cap pulled low over her eyes. William and Ethan were in the shallow end, their neon swim trunks flashing as they wrestled over a inflatable beach ball. Bisha tried to focus on their laughter, but her hands gripped her phone like a lifeline. The Twitter feed still burning in her mind. Secret handle, every ping felt like a punch. Mom, catch! Liam shouted, lobbing the ball her way. Mist sailed wide, bouncing off a sunburned guy's head instead. Oops, sorry, Liam giggled. Ducking underwater, Emma waved it off, forcing a laugh. Nice time. Kiddo, try again. Ethan splashed over, grinning. My turn. Watch me. My turn. Watch me. Me hit the ball, and this time it landed in her lap. She tossed it back, her heart lifting for a split second. The ice boys, they were her anchor, but the stares from nearby loungers, the whispers behind raised cocktails, kept dragging her under. Up on their suites was a war zone of tension. Dimia stood by the desk, her arms crossed, her ponytail swinging as she barked into her phone. No, Mr. Tanaka has not dating, has just teed up. Tonight's still on 10 p.m. sharp. She hung up, glaring at Ryan, who slouched on the couch, a half-empty Red Bull in his hand. You're kidding me. Eyes. The Japanese team's this close to walking. They're Googling you. Those pics are everywhere. You've got to give them something, or we're toast. Ryan rubbed his face, the stubble scratching his palms. Yana's face. B. M to get it, Mia. But M to M not leaving. She blinked, thrown, leaving. Who said anything about leaving? He stood, passing to the balcony. The ocean stretched out, endless and blue, mocking his mess of a life. This Emito means a ship. Emma, the boys. Emma so can't ditch them. Not again. Maya's jaw dropped. You're picking them over I-9 figure, dear. Are you nuts? He turned, eyes hard. Base, they're my kids. Mia. Amy didn't know for 8 years. And now the whole damn world's got their claws out. Emma not running this time. She stared, then softened, sinking into I chair. Hey, okay. Wow, so, what's the plan? He grabbed his phone, scrolling the latest posts, more blurry shots, more wilder guess. First, Manute stop this circus from getting worse, then had to figure out I'd be down at the pool. Trouble found Emma fast. I skinny guy inch-board shorts, 20-something, with I Mambun and I GoPro strapped to his chest, waded into the shallow end, too close to the boys. Bishe angled the camera, pretending to adjust it, but Emma caught the red recording light. Her blood boiled. She shut up, splashing through the water in her shorts, and grabbed Liam and Ethan by the arms. Hey, buddy, let's take a eye break, ice cream time. Oh, Mom, 5 more minutes. Ethan whined, but she tugged them out, water dripping off their skinny legs. Viso, GoPro guy smiretto. Following at eye distance, she hustled them to the ice cream stand, her pulse racing, and ordered 2 chocolate cones. Sit here, she said, plunking them on a bench, under an umbrella. Bishe scanned the deck. More eyes, more phones. Eye woman inchy eye floppy hat. Snapped eye pic, whispering to her friend. Bishe, my hands clenched. This wasn't eye vacation anymore. It was eye fishbowl. That's when Ryan showed up. Head ditched polo for eye plain gray t-shirts and sunglasses, trying to blend inch. But he had broad shoulders, and that, CEO swagger stood up. Be like eye, sore tambu. He spotted Emma by the benchy, the boys licking their cones, and started over. Halfway there, the GoPro guy stepped into his path. Camera rolling. I show. Yo, Ryan Hayes. Right, big tech dude. What's the deal with the kids? Man, secret to family vibes. Ron's jaw tightened. He sidestepped. But the guy I kept pace, shoving the GoPro closer. Hey, come on. Guileless, I sound vital. You baiting on your investors for this chick. Something snapped. Ryan spun, grabbing the guy's wrist and twisting it just enough to make him yell. Then, back off. He growled, voice low and lethal. You don't get near them. Ever! The GoPro clattered to the deck and the guy stumbled back. Shit, dude, just doing my job. Emma froze. Ice cream dripping under her finger. He let go, chest heaving, and turned to her. The crowd hushed, phones swinging his way. Ryan, what the hell, she hissed, stepping between him and the boys. Liam peeked around on her, wide-eyed. Mom, he hit that guy. That was cool. B-san nodded, chocolate smeared on his chin. Yeah, like I superhero. Ryan crouched, forcing calm into his voice. Hey, guys, just keeping the creeps away, okay? You're safe. He looked up at Emma, sunglasses sliding down his nose. They moved man to it. Emma, not letting his trash heart them. She stared, her anger warring with something else. Shock, maybe gratitude. They're not your kids to protect. She shot back, but her voice wavered. You don't get to pray, hero. After 8 years. He stood closer now, the heat of the deck radiating between them. They're mine too. Emma, you said it yourself. Mato screwed up. Mut know that. But Emma more here now. And Emma not letting some vulture with eye camera scare them. She opened her mouth to argue, but Lion tugged her hand. Mom, is he staying? He's good at fighting the bad guys. Ethan piped up. Yeah, can he come swim with us? Emma's throat closed. She looked from the boys' hopeful faces to Ryan's earnest, raw, nothing like the slick tech bro shit seen on magazine covers. The GoPro guy slinked off, muttering that the crowd still lingered, snapping pics. Bisha took a shaky breath. While going back to the cabin, alone, she grabbed the boys' hands, leading them away. But Ryan's words echoed in her head. Isto emmo here now. Back inch sweat. Ryan sank onto the couch, adrenaline fading into idle ache. Mia burst inch, 4-inch hand. You punched a guy, Ryan. It's all over my Geo goes rogat pool. She waved the hair off, staring at the ceiling. He was after the boys, and stood they do it again. She paused, then sat beside him. You're serious about this? No, Dave. You're rough. They did the serious. They're my family, Mia. Deal or no deal. In the stairs. Emma locked the cabin door. The boys sprawled on the bunks with their Nintendo Switches. She sank onto the edge of the bed, replaying the scene. Ryan's fist. His growl. The way Head looked at her. Be hit the photo for them. Not for headlines, not for his ego, for Liam and Ethan. Her was correct. Just eye hair, but enough to let eye dangerous thoughts slip through. Maybe he was onto the same guy who'd left her crying on that Atlanta doorstep. Guy sighed. The sun dipped below, painting the sea orange. The ship sailed on. But for Emma and Ryan, the real journey was just beginning, and it was about to get a hell of a lot messier. Visa Pacific Dream hummed through the twilight, its decks glowing under strings of fairy lights that swayed into the warm Caribbean breeze. Beyond Dictaman, the buffet hall had quieted down, the dinner rush fading into a low murmur of clinking glasses and soft laughter. Emma sat at a table near the window, pushing Irene salad around her plate with a plastic fork. William and Ethan were across from her, their faces lit by the flickering glow of their switches, hands mashing buttons inch a frantic Mario Kart race. A salty tongue of fries lingered in the air, mixing with the faint sweetness of spilled soda on the table. Isha should have been eating, should have been present. But her mind was a tangle of Ryan's voice, that poolside standoff, and the buzz of her phone shed silenced an hour ago. Mom, Matuan. Ethan cheered, thrusting his scream toward her. B. Mario waved from first place. I pixelated the victory lap. Lime groaned, slumping back. No fair, you cheated with that stupid shell. Emma mastered a smile, ruffling Ethan's hair. Good demo. Yay, next time. Good job next time. Issei grinned, diving back into the game. But her eyes drifted to the window. The sea stretched black and endless, a mirror for the chaos churning inside her. Ryan had fought for them. Actually threw down like some action movie, Dad. Deep, she didn't era since it passed. But it shook her. Hard up on deck and would high. Ryan's sweat was a pressure cooker. Mia stood by the desk, her phone pressed to her ear, her free hand waving like she could swat away the bad news. BS, Mr. Tanaka. Emito saw the video. No, he's not unstable. He was protecting Luku Herubi at the meeting. Promise. She hung up, glaring at Ryan, who leaned against the balcony door, a tumbler of bourbon dangling from his fingers. His eyes clinked as he swallowed it, the amber liquid catching the light. You're trending again, she snapped, Rogejo, the investors think you're unhinged. Tanaka's ready to bolter. Ryan took a sip, the burn steadying him. He read to him. M to Emma, not apologizing for keeping that creep off my kids. Mia's eyes widened. Your kids? You're all inch on this, huh? He nodded, setting the glass down. They're mine. Mia. M to, they got 8 years to make up for. M to Emma not starting by letting some jackass with eye camera scare them. She sighed, rubbing her forehead. B. Fine, but you've got to smooth this over tonight. 10 p.m. suite. May or high Stexton. Downstairs, the rumor mill hit a new gear. May I cluster of women at a nearby buffet table whispered behind their wine glasses, their eyes flicking to Emma and the boys. That's her, right? The one with the twins, one said, her voice carrying over the hum. This being pair just like him. Ryan Hayes. Emmett saw him on CNBC last month. Another nodded, snapping a sneaky pic with her phone. Betty's been paying her off to keep quiet. Typical rich guy move. Ishima called the words, her fork freezing amid the air. She turned, meeting their stares, and they quickly looked away, giggling like schoolgirls caught passing notes. Her chest tightened. She shoved her tray aside, leaning toward the boys. Hey, guys, finish up. We're heading back. Lion and man not looking up. Oh, Mom, can't we stay? M about to beat him. Ethan nodded. Yeah, it's fun here. It's fun here. Ishe forced eye calm tone. Cabin time now. They grumbled, packing up their switches, but Liam's eyes darted around. Mom, why are those ladies staring? Did we do something wrong? She grabbed their hands, standing fast. Dainope, just nosy people. Let's go. The corridor to deck beyond was dim, the carpet muffling their steps. Emma's phone buzzed into her pocket. Jess again. She ignored it, her grip tightening on the boys as they shuffled along. Ethan yawned, dragging his shark plushie. Emma sleepy. Liam glanced back. Mom, you're walking fast. What's wrong? She stopped, kneeling to their level, her voice soft but firm. What's wrong? Okay, just tired. Well, watch a movie into the room. Your pick. They nodded, but Liam's frown lingered, sharp and too knowing for a 7-year-old. Back into the cabin. Emma locked the door, the click loud into the quiet. The boys flopped onto the bunks, arguing over more our Spider-Man. She sank onto the edge of the bed, pulling out her phone. Jess's text glowed. It's bad, check this. I link followed. A trashy blog post titled, I take Titan Secret Shame. Heist ditched lover for fortune. The article spun idly. Ryan had dumped her for some hairs, left her pregnant, and broke while he climbed the Silicon Valley ladder. B.I. blurry photo showed her and the boys at the pool, Ryan into the background. Comments piled up, deadbeat confirmed. Those kids deserve better. She dropped the phone, tears burning. Isn't it true? He hadn't known. But the lie stung worse than the truth. She'd raised Liam and Ethan alone, scrapping goodbye while he built his empire. Behind us the world was, twisting it into something uglier. I jolted her, soft, hesitant. She wiped her face, cracking the door. Ryan stood there, still inch that gray t-shirt, his hair messy like he'd been tugging at it. Emma saw the article. We need to talk. She stepped into the hall, shutting the door behind her. Talk about what? How your life's screwing mine up again. Her voice shook, low to keep the boys from hearing. Mihe winced, hands into his pockets. Emmett didn't want this. That stuff they're saying. It's bullshit. She cut him off, stepping closer. Doesn't matter what's true, Ryan. It's out there. Liam heard kids at the arcade today. Is your dad I jerk? He is 7. And he's asking me why you didn't want us. Ryan's face crumpled, guilt carving lines into his forehead. Emma didn't know. Emma did. She laughed, sharp and bitter. She laughed, sharp and bitter. Be what? Kitto your startup. Stayed in Atlanta flipping burgers with me. Don't lie to yourself. He grabbed her arm, gentle but firm. Be, Emmett, they have been there. Maybe not perfect, but there. We're trying now. Mammon stopped that guy today. Didn't Emmett? She pulled free. Tears spilling. Yeah. And now it's a circus. Emmett can't take them to breakfast without cameras. You don't get it. This isn't your boardroom. It's my kids. He nodded, voice breaking. I get it. That's why I'm doing this. BC pulled out his phone, showing iDraft email to his PR team. Press conference. Tomorrow. MTM telling the truth. About us, the boys. No more rumors. Emma's eyes widened. A press conference? Are you crazy? That'll make it worse. Bihe shook his head. It's the only way. Emmett all say they might be mine. Take the heat off you. No names, no photos. Just enough to stop the lies. She stared, her anger clashing with exhaustion. And if they don't stop, if they swarm us anyway. He met her guys, steady, then met to fight harder. For them, for you, inside. Liam's voice piped up. Mom, who's out there? She turned, swallowing hard. Just I friend, but Emily be inch soon. She looked back at Ryan, her voice trembling. Do we eat? But must Emma not standing with you? This is your mess. He nodded, stepping back. Fair enough. Until you fix it. He walked off, the corridor swallowing him. But his words lingered like eye lifeline she wasn't sure she could grab. In the cabin, Emma tucked the boys in Spider-Man playing low on her phone. He see me yawned though, clutching his shark. Mom, is that guy our friend for real? Ethan mumbled, half asleep. It's cool, fights bad guys. She kissed their foreheads, her voice thick, maybe sweetie Welsie. She shut off the light, sinking onto the bed. The article's lies looping into her head. Ryan was stepping up, but at what cost? The storm was growing, and she wasn't sure they'd all make it through. Whoa, things just got real. Will Ryan's press conference saves the day, or is Emma right about it blowing up in their faces? Smash that subscribe button and drop a comment. What's your bet on how this plays out? Let's see where this wild ride takes us next. Bisu Pacific Dream glided through the early morning haze. The horizon eye soft blur of pink and gold as the sun peeked over the Caribbean Sea. Beyond deck B, Emma's cabin was a cocoon of quiet. The only sounds the faint hum of the ship's engines and the boys' soft snores. Isha sat cross-legged on the bed, her phone glowing into the dim light. Jess's latest text staring back at her. And you okay? That article's everywhere. Call me. She hadn't. Couldn't. Swiped it off. I sleep had dodged her all night. Ryan's press conference plan looping into her head like iBad song. Would it work? Or would it just drag Liam and Ethan deeper into this mess? A sharp cry jolted her upright. Ma! Ethan's voice, small and shaky, cut through the stillness. She scrambled to the bunks, finding him curled up, clutching his head. Liam stared above her, rubbing his eyes. What's wrong? Emma knelt beside Ethan, her hand flying to his forehead. Hot, too hot. My head hurts, I whimpered, tears streaking his flushed cheeks. Iha heart large. Okay, Buddy, hang on, we're going to the doctor. She scooped him up, his skinny arms looping around her neck, and grabbed Lion's hand. Come on, sweetie, quick. The corridor was empty as they hurried to the infirmary on deck now, the carpet swallowing their frantic steps. The air smelled like antiseptico and stale coffee when they burst Inch, eyes sleeping up from her desk. B, he's burning up. Emma sighed. Voice tight. Headache, fever, started just now. The nurse nodded, ushering them into a small exam room. Liam hovered by the door, clutching a sharp plushie, his frown deepening. Is he okay? Mom, he'll be fine. She lied, smoothing Ethan's hair as the doctor, a wire-eyed guy with an eye stethoscope dangling from his neck, checked his temp. High, ba, year there, hearing into Ethan's eyes with eye panel. B could be eye virus, maybe stress-related. Well, run some tests. Emma nodded, her stomach twisting. Stress, of course. Paparazzi whispers, Jan's bombshell. She dragged them into this chaos. Up on deck, mem jujichi high. Ryan stood inches sweet. B balcony doors opened to a salty breeze. Had been up since dawn. Pushing Inch his boxers, I crumpled shirts tossed over the couch. His laptop glowed with the press conference draft Mia had sent. Short, sharp, honest. He said as I possibility. These children are mine. Emmett didn't know until now. Respect to their privacy. Had he sent that bomb? The ship's PR team is scrambling to set it up for noon. Guy's phone buzzed. Mia, again. Tanaka's pistol. Once I call now. He ignored it, staring at the horizon. Had to face the investors later. Right now. Emma and the boys were all that mattered. He would traveled fast on ice ship G's size. By the time Ryan grabbed eye coffee from the buffet and headed down to check on Emma, Ice steward tipped him off. Lady with the twins just hit the infirmary. B-kid's sick, his gut clenched. He bolted, the coffee sloshing into his hand, and reached deck 9 minutes. The infirmary door swung open, and there she was, Emma, pale, other and frazzled, holding Evan's hand, while the doctor scrabbled nuts. Miriam sat Inch eye plastic chair, swinging his legs, shark plushy Inch his lap. Guy, Ryan, Emma's voice cracked, surprise and exhaustion mixing. He stepped Inch, setting the coffee on eye counter. Hard as sick. What's going on? She bristled, but her grip on Ethan softened. B, fever, headache. They're checking him out. Ethan picked up, eyes glassy. Mister. My head's all fuzzy. Ryan closed, forcing a smile. Hey, tough guy. You're gonna be okay. Doc's here are pro. The doctor glanced over. Hair stable pro. B bubbly IBS. Rest on the fluids for now. Well, keep him IB to longer to be sure. Emma nodded, her shoulders sagging. Ryan hesitated, then pulled folded paper from his pocket, a yellowed envelope, edges worn thin. Emma, before you kick me out, read this, please. She frowned, taking it. What is it? He swallowed. Slow. A letter from 8 years ago. Matt never sent it. She unfolded it, the paper crinkling in her shaky hands. His handwriting, messy, hurried, spilled across the page. Emma, Matt Emma in SF it's crazy, coding all night, crashing on iCouch. Emma to miss you. Emma to are we. Emma, I'll come back once this takes off. And they told you. Below that, I scrolled a note. Dad says if Mr. Cole hell tank the company, Emmett can't drag you into this. She looked up, eyes wide. You wrote this. Why didn't you send it? Ryan rubbed his neck. Guilty, he inched his voice. My dad. He was drowning inch depth. High stake was his baby, but he was bleeding cash. He told me if Mo stayed tied to Atlanta, to you, he'd let it crash. Beside Emmett had to cut everything and focus. Emmett was stupid. Emma thought Mo'd they fix it fast, then call. But it snowballed months, years. Emmett kept that letter inch my desk, couldn't throw it away. She stared, tears burning. Yeah, you loved me, and you still left. Emmett was I coward, he said. Emmett picked the company over us. Emmett didn't know about the boys. Swear to God. Emmett should have fought harder. Ethan coughed, drawing their eyes. Ryan grabbed a cup of water from the sink, easing it to the boy's lips. They sipped this, mad, slow. Ethan drank, blinking up at him. Thanks, mister, you're nice. Liam piped up, curious. Did you really write Mama a letter, like Inch the movies? Emma's laugh was sharky, wiping her eyes. Yeah, Kitto, like Inch the movies. The doctor stepped out, leaving them Inch the sterile quiet. Ishe clutched the letter. Its weight sinking Inch had to love her, maybe still did, but love hadn't kept him there. She looked at Ryan, tending to Ethan with eye gentleness she hadn't expected, and her walls trembled again. Me just doesn't fix it, she whispered. But it's something. Hours crawled by, Inch the infirmary. Ethan's fever eased, dropping and the doctor gave the green light to go. He lifted him up, he said, handing Emma a slip with care instructions. No pool for a day or two. She nodded, lifting Ethan into her arms. Ian hovered, hesitant. Let me help, please. She sighed, too tired to fight. Fine, grab his shark. You won't sleep without it. Liam handed it over, studying Ryan. You were sticking around, right? Ethan likes you. Liam smiled, ruffling his hair. Yeah, Muto and me sticking around. They shuffled out. I fragile unit. Emma with Ethan, Ryan steadying Liam's shoulder. Bus corridor were empty. No cameras, no stairs. Just the hum of the ship and their uneven steps. Emma glanced at Ryan, the letter tucked into her pocket like a secret she wasn't ready to face. He had to be forced to choose, family or hair. Had to pick the wrong. But now, watching him with the boys, she wondered if he'd finally figured it out. Back into the cabin, she settled Ethan into the bunk, his breathing steadying. Liam climbed up the top, yawning. Night, Mom, night, Mister. Ryan lingered by the door, hands in his pockets. Emmett will check Inch later. If you need anything, she cut him off. Soft but firm. Emmett told her go handle your meeting. But he nodded, stepping out. But his eyes held hers a bit longer. Hopeful, haunted. They sparkled under a rising moon. Ryan headed for deck Moi High, the press conference looming. But his mind stayed with them. Emma's tears, Ethan's cough, Liam's trust. We had to lost 8 years. He want to lose another day. The Pacific Dream docked at Nassau, Bahamas. Just as the morning sun ignited the sky in shy blaze of orange and pinkish. The port buzzed with life, vendors hawking straw hats, taxis honking, and the salty tongue of the sea mingling with diesel fumes. On deck BN, Emma zipped up the boy's duffel bag. Her movement sharp and deliberate. Miriam and Ethan sat on the bottom bunk, their sneakers swinging, faces puzzled. Mom, Why are we leaving early? Liam asked, clutching his shark plushie. Emma thought we had 2 more days. Ethan nodded, his voice small. B? Yeah. M better now. Can't we stay? Emma forced an eye smile, tucking IncredibleStory card behind her ear. Emma to no guys, but something came up. We'll have a fun back home, promise. Bisha didn't tell them the truth, that the ship felt like IKG. Paparazzi lurking around every corner, their faces plastered across MG and trashy bullocks. Billion's press conference was set for noon, and Shed planned to be gone before the cameras roared. Shed paid extra to disembark early. Customs be damned. Be her boys deserved peace, not eye spotlight. Up on deck, is to inches sweat. The balcony doors flung wide. The Nassau skyline glittered. Beyond the railing, palm trees, pastel buildings. I promise of escape, he continued. He had barely slept. The press conference script crumpled in his fist. To take responsibility. Leave them alone. Simple. Direct. Mia had fought him on it. Too vague to air. Too risky. But he didn't care. His phone buzzed incessantly. Tanaka's team, furious after last night's meeting, went sideways. Had shown up, pitched the deal, but his heart wasn't inched. Misedo smelled the distraction a mile away. A knock rattled the door. Mia burst inch. Her blouse wrinkled, eyes wild. Ryan, Tanaka's out. 9 figures gone, they saw the rogacho. Chris, think your eye loose cannon. Isha was out. The twins' moms bailing at Nassau. His stomach dropped. Emma's leaving, Mia nodded. Staff confirmed it. She's at the gangway now. He grabbed his jacket, adrenaline spiking. Emma never got to stop her. The conference can wait. He down at the gangway. The line inched forward. Tourists with fanny packs. A few locals hauling luggage. Emma stood near the exit. Ethan in her arms. Liam clutching her hand. Miha paperwork. Rasado inched the breeze. Early departure forms. Passports. I receipt for the extra fee that drained her account to Dogola Emma to the high. She'd make it work. She always did. Ethan rested his head on her shoulder, still pale but fever-free. Mom, Emma tired them well, rest soon. Better rest soon. Just then it hit. Ethan's face twisted, and he doubled over, eye dry heave racking his small frame. Oh no, Emma gasped, setting him down fast. Liam's eyes widened. He's gonna puke! She knelt, rubbing Ethan's back as he gagged. Nothing coming up but misery. Her chest tightened. Panic, guilt, fear. The line shifted. I stuffer waving her forward. But Ethan whimpered, my head hurts again. Bisha scooped him up, turning back toward the ship. We're not going anywhere like this. The infirmary's eye quick jog back. Liam trailing with the duffel. Yeah, Ethan. Heba's spiking again. Could be a relapse. He needs rest. Observation. Not travel. Emma nodded, defeated. The gangway closed behind her. Nassau slipping out of reach. She sank into a chair. Ethan in beside her. Ice to waist was stuck, she muttered, brushing tears away. Water hit Ryan like a freight train. He was halfway down deck when ice steward flagged him. They're back into the infirmary. Kid sick again. He bolted, reaching deck, numb inchy eyebrow. His sneakers skidding on the tile. Emma looked up as he burst inch, her face eye mix of exhaustion and surprise. Beat you again, she sighed. He crushed by Ethan, who blinked at him weakly. Hey, Tucker guy, hanging inch there, Ethan managed a nod. Yeah, you're still here away, still here dancing at Emma. I said, glancing at Emma. Ishe rolled her eyes, but her grip on Ethan softened. Emma piped up. Mom said we're staying now. Are you coming with us? Before she could answer, commotion erupted outside, shouts, footsteps, the click of cameras. B's press conference had started without him. Mia, desperate to salvage something, had leaked into the ship's media pool. High speaks at noon, and the vultures had descended. The crowd spilled into the corridor, lenses flashing through the infirmary's glass door. There he is, someone yelled. Face, over here. Beefy guy with eye combined on the glass. Is that the mom? Get the kids inch the shot? Emma flinched, shielding Ethan. Get out, she snapped, voice breaking. Ryan stood, fury igniting. He yanked the door open, stepping into the fray. Back off, he roared, shoving the Nikon guy hard enough to make him stumble. B's crowd surged. Phone, Mick, shouted questions. Highs, you dodging the deal for this chick. Are those your bastards? How much you paying her to shut up? Hey, spun. Fist clash. There are my family. You are shows. Leave the... Ishima watched Rosen, as security swarmed the inch, pushing the mob back. Ilian turned, breathless, and knelt by her chair. Emma done running. Emma, from them, from you. Ethan cuffed, tugging his sleeve. You're allowed. Mr. Lurag, Spider-Man fighting Doku. Bill Young cracked a smile, but his eyes locked on Emma, pleading, fierce. She stood, Ethan in her arms, and faced the chaos beyond the growls. B's press wouldn't stop. Not today, not tomorrow. Ryan's conference was eye-buster, his deal crumbling, and here he was, still fighting. For them, her voice shook as she spoke. You're wrecking this worse, Ryan. Fail never, leave us alone now. Bisha stepped closer, voice low. Let me fix it. Together, Emma will take a seat. Whatever it takes. I barely got poked his head inch. Mr. Hayes, we're good. Am contained. You still doing that conference? Ryan glanced at Emma, then nodded. Yeah, but it's not about the deal anymore. He knelt by the boys, ruffling Leona's hair. Then he too stay tough. Okay, Mitty, got something to say. For you. Ethan smiled weakly. Wow! Ethan smiled weakly. Oosh. Like a superhero. Ryan chuckled. Something like that. He stood, facing Emma. Emma telling the world they're mine. No more hiding. You don't have to stand with me, but Emma doing this for us. She started. The letter from last night, burning a whole inch her pocket. Had chosen wrong once, now he was choosing them, over everything. Her walls cracked wider, but she stayed silent as he walked out, the crowd's roar swallowing him. Behind the infirmary, Liam tugged her hand. Mom, is hey our dad for real? Ethan mumbled, sleepy. He's cool if he is. She sank back, tears slipping free. Maybe, guys. Well, figure it out. The outside, Nassau faded into the distance, but the real storm was just beginning, and Ryan was about to face it head-on. The Pacific Dream sailed smoothly under a late afternoon sky, the Nassau skyline shrinking to a speck on the horizon. Bees on deck ME. The pool area had mellowed out. The water slid quiet now. Only a few kids, splashing lazily inched the shallow end. Visa air carried fading scent of chlorine and grilled hot dogs from the lunch rush. I still, drum band winding down with a slow reggae tune. Dushima sat on a lounge chair near the railing. Her flip-flops kicked off. I lukewarm lemonade sweating in her hand. William and Ethan were, a few feet away, sprawled on towers, giggling over a pile of damp paper boats they'd made with a couple of crayons and a stack of napkins from the bar. Hans fever had broken fully that morning. His color back. But she kept him close, no chances after yesterday's scare. Mine's faster, Liam declared, sliding his red crayon boat across the towel. Ethan have to, nudging his blue one forward. Now, mine's at super speed. Emma smiled, a real one this time, the knot in her chest loosening just a hair. We say we're okay, happy then, despite the chaos. But her phone, tucked in her purse, buzzed faintly. I remind of the storm still raging online. She hadn't checked it since the infirmary, too afraid of what she'd see after Ryan's showdown with the press. Up on deck, Aunt Sweet was a ghost town. The laptop sat dark, the bourbon bottle untouched since last night. B.A. stood by the balcony, hand shoved into his pockets, the sea breeze tugging at his gray tie-shirt. His phone lay on the table, silent for once. Mia had texted an hour ago. Tanaka out. Tanaka's out. Michidi dead. You're on your own. 9 figures. Gone. High stick would take I hit. Maybe I fought her one. He should have cared. Should have been pushing. Calling little save it. Bible, all he could think about was Emma's face in that infirmary. Ethan's weak smile, Lion's quiet trust. Had lost the deal. He wanna lose them. Downstairs, he found them by the pool. The boys' laughter pulling him like a beacon. B had to swap the G-shirts for a faded giant's hoodie. Less Giselle, more human, and carried a small paper bag from the ship's gift shop. Emma spotted him first, her lemonade posing mid-ship. Ryan, she said, voice neutral but worry. He stopped a few feet away. Hands up, not here to fight. Just wanted to see them. Hey, mister, you're back. Ethan waved. His blue boat tipping over. You missed our race. Ryan crouched, setting the bag down. Looks like Emmett did, who won. Liam puffed out his chest. Me, obviously, Ethan elbowed him. Liar! Liam was faster. Vivian chuckled. The sound rusty but real. Guess Emmett will have to judge next time. Brought you something though? He pulled 2 small wooden boats from the bag, hand-carved, painted red and blue. The boy's eyes lit up. Whoa, eyes lit up. Whoa! William grabbed the red one, turning it over. This is so cool. Ethan hugged the blue one. Thanks, mister. You're the best. Emma watched, her lemonade forgotten. You didn't know the boys wouldn't hear, she said. Low enough, the boo, what? She said low enough. The boys wouldn't hear. William stood, brushing sand off his jeans. Wanted to. They deserve something good after everything. She nodded, glancing at the boats. They do. I beat past. The band's last notes fading. She set the cup down, crossing her arms. How'd your deal fell through? Mia told the ice steward, who told the buffet lady, who told me. Ship gossips wild. He shrugged. I half a smile, tugging his lips. Tanaka bailed. Side him to M2. Volatile guest punching eye guy on camera didn't help. Her brow urged. You're okay with that? He met her guys steady. I'm there. Rather lose it all than walk away from them again. From you? By her breath caught, the letter in her pocket flashing through her mind. I'm to love you. I'm to Jure come back. He hadn't then, but now the boys scrambled over, boats in hand. Mister, show us how to make. I'm fraud. Leon Bay. B.S. nodded. Yeah, like real ones. Ryan glanced at Emma. I silent question. She sighed, nodding. Go ahead, they've got you wrapped around their fingers already. He grinned. Kneeling by the pool's edge. Okay, chums, watch this. He dipped the boat's inch, nudging along, the water rippling under his careful push. Liam whooped as his red one took the lead, Ethan cheering his blue one on. Emma stood back, arms still crossed, but her eyes softened. Billions rough, low, warm, mixed with the boys. Eye sound she hadn't heard in 8 years. She remembered from Atlanta. Late nights on her couch, his dumb jokes, the way it had made her feel safe. Bimchiru hidento. Now here he was, soaked to the elbows, teaching her sons, their sons, something simple and good. Her walls didn't crumble, but they sagged, the weight of holding them up too much. A few loungers glanced over, whispering, but no camera flashed. The ship's security had cracked down after yesterday, and the press conference mess had scattered the vultures. For now, William stood, wiping his hands on his jeans, and joined her by the railing. They're amazing, Irma, you did that. Raised them right. She looked away. The compliment stinging. B. Hatto. No one else was there. He winced, nodding. Muto no, Muto can't fix that. But Amos can be here now. B. She turned, studying him. The stubble, the tired eyes, the hoodie that made him look less like I tech god and more like I guy who'd lost everything and found something better. This is our company's toast. Ah, each are good. Dorai, maybe. Imutor figured out. But this, he nodded at the boys, racing their boats again. This is what matters. Bishi didn't reply, just watched Liam tackle Ethan into a giggling heap. The boats forgotten. By sun dipped lower, painting the deck inch amber. Ryan's phone buzzed in his pocket. Probably Mia, or lawyers, or the board screaming about stock prices. He pulled it out, saw the screen flash to Tanaka, and silenced it without a second thought. Emma noticed, her brow lifting. Not taking that. He shook his head. Nah, they can wait. These guys can't. He nodded at the boys, who were now begging him to join their boat war. She watched him jog over, splashing into the shallow end, his hoodie darkening with water as he played along. William climbed his back. Ethan tugged his arm, their laughter ringing out. For a moment, she let herself imagine it. Ryan sticking around, not just for a cruise, but for good. The thought scared her, but it didn't hurt like it used to. She sipped it, her lemonade. The ice melted, and felt a eye flicker of something she hadn't in years. Hope, maybe, or just relief that she wasn't alone in this fight. As the band packed up, Ryan hauled the boys out, dripping and grinning. I see you, I miss, she said, tossing him a towel. He caught it, smirking, worsed. Liam ran over, holding his boat. Mom, he's really good at this. Can he stay with us? Ethan nodded. Yeah, he's fun. BM's smile faltered, but she didn't say no. Well, see, guy off. It's dinner soon. Ryan met her eyes. I quite promise there. Yaha wasn't pushing her, but he wasn't leaving either. The ship sailed on, the day fading, and for the first time, Emma didn't feel like she was drowning. All right, Ryan's making moves, but is it enough to win Emma over? Will his family get their shot, or is more trouble brewing? Hit that subscribe button and drop a comment. What's your take on this turnaround? We're rolling into the big finish, so don't lie. Bizu Pacific Dream cut through the twilight waters, its engines humming eye steady, lullabies and movement closer on the horizon. Beyond deck M, The pool deck glowed under strands of fairy lights, the air thick with the fading scent of sunscreen and the sharp bite of salt carried on the evening breeze. B families near the railing. Kids waving glow sticks from the ships. Family one night, their schools mixing with the rhythmic crash of waves against the hull. Emma leaned against the cool metal rail, her denim jacket slipping off one shoulder. I half empty Coke can sweating in her grip. William and Ethan darted between tables a few feet away. Their wooden boats, red for Liam, blue for Ethan, clutched like trophies, their sneakers slapping the deck inch eye game of tag only they understood. We should talk I ship, the fizz sharp on her tongue, and let her eyes drift to the darkening sea. For the first time in days, her chest didn't feel like it was caving in. This cruise had been a roller coaster, Lion crashing back into her life, paparazzi hounding them, Ethan's fever spiking. But here, inch this fading light. The boys' laughter stitched something broken back together. Bichette fought for this tripe, scrimped every dime from her Atlanta accounting gig, and despite the chaos, they'd found moments of joy. Isat was enough. For now. Ryan stood a few yards off, his giant's hoodie swapped for a plain black tie shirt, hands shoved deep in his pockets. Eyes, the ship's lights carved shadows across his face, softening the tech CEO. Polish shed the scene inch, those glossy Forbes spreads. Jess used to shove under her nose. We had to spend the day with them, kneading by the pool, teaching Liam and Ethan how to angle their paper boats, so they'd glide instead of sink, laughing when Liam's flipped and Ethan's made it halfway across. Ishit watched from a lounge chair, her guard still up, but the cracks were widening. He wasn't the Ryan who'd left her 8 years ago, suitcase in hand, promising a call that never came. Maybe he was just older, humbler, carrying a guilt she could almost touch. Mom, catch, Liam yelled, lobbing a crumpled napkin her way. It sailed wide, landing inch a paddle near the bar, and he giggled, ducking behind a chair. Ethan bolted over, waving his blue bottle. My turn. Watch. He chucked his own napkin, and it fluttered into her lap. She tossed it back, grinning despite herself. You two are I miss. Keep it up. And I am trading you for quieter kids. Bise laughed, scampering off, and she shook her head, the Coke can denting slightly under her fingers. Ryan drifted closer, his sneakers scuffing the deck, stopping just shy of her space. Yeah, I handful, he said, voice low, I half smile tugging his lips. She glanced at him, the fairy lights catching the silver inch's hair. Always have been keeps me on my toes. Lee nodded, leaning on the rail beside her, close enough she could smell the faint cedar of his cologne over the sea salt. You're good at it. Keeping up with them there, lackey. My heart heightened, the compliment landing like a pebble into still water. Had to be, she said, eyes on the boys as they tackled each other near a table. No one else was gonna do it. He winced though, saw words hitting their mark, and rubbed the back of his neck. Yeah, M.A. though, more day. M.M. still kicking myself for that. She didn't reply. Just sipped her Coke, letting the silence stretch. Pizza bando, a trio with a steel drum and a guitar, struck up a slow tune, the notes drifting over the deck like a sigh. Liam raced back, breathless, holding a fistful of tickets from a ring toss game. Bye, Mom, we won these. Can we get stuff? Ethan trailed him, his pirate hat slipping, blue boat wobbling in his grip. Yeah. Mato got a big one. Look. He waved a stab, grinning like head-struck gold. East. Mishima set her can down, ruffling their hair. Nice hole, chumps, Let's hit the prize booth before it's done. They bolted ahead, weaving through the thinning crowd, and she followed, Ryan falling into step without a word. She didn't push him away. This prize booth, eye-cluttered oasis, stuffed dolphins dangling from hooks, plastic swords inch-high beam, cheap sunglasses stacked under eye flickering bulb that buzzed like eye-trapped fly. William traded his tickets for eye rubber shark, its goofy grin matching his own. Shark attack! He roared, chomping it at Ethan, who swapped his haul for eye-tiny pirate art and plopped it on his head. Ah! Damn Captain Ethan! Lee growled, striking eye pose. Ryan crouched, playing along. Careful, Captain, sharks don't mess around out here. The boys dissolved into giggles, lunging at him, and he let them knock him back, sprawling dramatically on the deck. Ishima stood there, coke in hand, watching the scene unfold. Ryan's laugh, low, unguarded, mixed with the boys' a sound she hadn't heard since those Atlanta nights on her lumpy couch. It is dumb puns, making her snort into her beer. B had to been her everything then. Until he wasn't, now he was here, flat on his back, Liam climbing his chest, Ethan tugging his arm. I mess of wet sneakers and goofy grins. Biha was didn't collapse, but they sagged, the weight of holding them up too heavy under that twilight glow. Your eye natural, she said. Quite enough. The boys wouldn't catch it, stepping closer as they scrambled off him. Uriah stood, brushing sand from his jeans, his smile fading into something softer. Trying to be there easy to love. She nodded, glancing at the boats inch their hands, red and blue, his gifts, they are. I beat past, the band winding down, the decks chatter softening. She set her can on the rail, crossing her arms. Steve, harder from the buffet lady your deals toasto. Tanaka pulled out that true. He chuckled, dry, leaning beside her again. Yeah, my ass pissed. Says I'm still not insane. Stocks are tanking, boards screaming. Guess them, not I tech god anymore. I have brow arched. You don't sound broken up about it. He met her guys, steady. The fairy lights glinting into his eyes. Emma not lost more than ideal these past 8 years. Emma they tried it all again to be here right now. Be her breath koto. The letters faded ink flashing inch her mind. Must love you. Emma her come back. He hadn't tell her come back. But now the boys barreled over, boats inch hands. Mr. Abbas tosserings again, Liam begged, tugging his sleeve. Misa nodded, hot sleeping. Yeah, you're better than mom. Ryan glanced at her, eyes silent question. She sighed, I half smile breaking through. Go on, they've got you hooked. Ihe grinned, letting them drag him to the ring toss booth. But his eyes flicked back. A promise, not I push. She watched him kneel, showing Liam how to flick his wrist, cheering when Ethan's ring clattered onto I pay. These boys whooped, piling the tickets into his hands. And for a moment, she let herself imagine it. Ryan sticking around, not just for I cruise but for keeps. The night deepened, the deck emptying as family eyes trickled off. Mishima led the boys to I quiet the corner near the stern, the ocean stretching black, endless below. They leaned on the rail, pointing at stars. Their boats clutched tight. William joined them, putting 2 small boxes from his pocket. Last-minute gift shop finds. One more thing, he said, handing him over. Inside were tiny wooden ships, carved with their names, Liam and Ethan, painted red and blue. These boys gasped, hugging them. These are awesome, Liam yelled. Ethan beamed. Thanks, mister. You're the coolest. Her throat closed, tears pricking. Ryan, you. He cut her off. Soft. Had to. Wanted them to have something from me. Bisha nodded, blinking fast, and the boys ran to test the ships on I-bench, leaving them alone. The ship's hum filled the quiet, the breeze tugging her hair. They still call you, mister, she said. I faint smile. Guess that takes time. B leaned beside her, voice rough. Was waiting for. Emtoe got idled proof. To them? To you. She looked out at the sea, the coke can denting under her grip. 8 years is I big gap. Ryan, you don't just fill it with boats and promise. He nodded. Close enough she felt his warmth. Emetono. I'm not asking for a free ride, just I shot to earn it. Ishe didn't answer, the weight of his words settling like the dusk. Liam's voice broke through. Mom, look, mine's faster. And she turned, watching them race their ships across the bench, their giggles lighting the night. Back into the cabin. She tucked them inch. The new ships parked on the nightstand beside the old ones. Liam yawned, shark plushie under his arm. Mom, can he come home with us tomorrow? Ethan mumbled, half asleep. Be hisped him, like I that should be. Her heart stuttered. Well, see, guys, sleep tight. She kissed their foreheads, shaking off the light, and sank onto the bed, the letter slipping from her pocket. Bisha unfolded it, tracings faded. Emma to love you. A promise hit broken once, but maybe not again. Outside, Ryan stood on deck. MG high. Miami's lights faint inch distance. His phone buzzed board members. Furious, but he let it die. I had lost high stake, or damniate. Didn't matter. Had found 2 boys who didn't know him yet. A woman who might never fully forgive him, but who hadn't slammed the door. He had gripped the rail, whispering to the night. Emma, I'm not screwing this up again. In the cabin, Emma stared at the ceiling, the ship's sway rocking her thoughts. Ishetto Hoto Alonso alone, 2 jobs, late nights, scraped knees, and school plays with an empty seat beside her. Now Ryan was here, not perfect, but trying. She rolled the letter into eyeball, then smoothed it out, tucking it under her pillow. Oh, maybe, she murmured, closing her eyes. The path ahead was tangled, trusted to rebuild, family to figure out. But for the first time, she didn't feel like she was walking it alone. As the ship neared Miami, the stars faded, dawn creeping closer. Emma drifted off, fragile hope taking root. Not forever, but for now. That was enough. The Pacific dream eased into Miami port as the dawn broke. The sky eye-wash of gold and lavender over the glittering skyline. The air thrummed with the chaos of arrival. Horns blaring from taxis, porters barking orders, the sharp clatter of suitcases rolling over cracked concrete. Guy on deck being emanated by the bunks, zipping up the boys' duffel with quick, practiced hands. William and Ethan perched on the edge of the bottom bunk, their sneakers swinging, wooden ships, red door lion blue for Ethan, tucked under their arms like lifelines. Mom, can we take these on the plane? Lima asked, holding his up, the paint chipped from yesterday's races. Ethan nodded, his pirate hat still crooked from sleep. Yeah, there are lucky ones now. Ishima slung the back over her shoulder. I tried to smile, tugging her lips. You better, champs, keep, and close. We've got eye flight to catch. Shed booked the Emma Dykite slumber, but worse it to leave the ship behind. This cruise had been high whirlwind. Ryan's sudden re-entry. Paparazzi swarming, Ethan's fever spiking, and her bank account was down to Gora. AVME. Day after the early disembarkation fee, she'd figure out, scrape by like always. Let's move, she said, ushering them out. The corridor was a mess of bleary-eyed families hoarding over stuffed bags, the ship's hum fading as they shuffled me towards the gangway. Up on deck high. Ryan's suite was a hollow shell. The laptop packed in its case, the bourbon bottle capped and stowed, the balcony doors shut tight against the morning breeze. Deshe stood at the railing outside, hands deep into his pockets, the Miami skyline sharpening into focus, high-rises glinting, palm trees swaying. ICD had once conquered from San Francisco penthouse. Eastbourne waited on the suite's table, drained from a night of buzzing, board members rushing, stocks crashing after Tanaka's exit, haystack teetering on the brink. Maya's last text lingered in his mind. You're nuts. Good luck. Emu to guess. He didn't care. The empire was dust. But Lionel's laugh, Ethan's grin, Emma's guarded maybe. Those were solid, real head turning back. Connie's shot, and he wasn't turning back. He's down at the gangway. The crowd thinned as passengers trickled off. Tourists inch flip-flops, lockers lugging duty-free bags. Emma stood near the exit, Ethan Sando in chairs. Liam tugging at her sleeve, the duffel bouncing on her shoulder. BCR paperwork rustled into the breeze. Passports, boarding passes, a receipt for the extra fee that door, gutted her savings. They'd make it home, crash on her worn-out couch, and figure out the rest. Ethan yawned, rubbing his eyes. Emma sleepy. Mom. She squeezed his hand. Almost there, bud. Trains got comfy sheets. Billion caught them just in time, weaving through the last stragglers. I paperback from the gift shop swinging in his grip. We had ditched the hoodie for a faded black tee and jeans. His hair messy from the wind, looking less like ICAO and more like a guy who'd slept on a friend's floor, which he might soon. IFting. Voice rough but warm, stopping a few feet back. She turned, Coke can still inch her hand from last night, brow lifting. Ryan, thought you'd be up there licking your wounds. He cracked a smile, stepping closer. Isna, couldn't let you go without this. He crouched, pulling 2 small wooden planes from the bag, painted with their names, Liam and Ethan. Tiny propellers glued on. Pay for the flight, he said, handing them over. Liam snatched his, eyes wide. Whoa, it's got my name. Cool. Ethan hugged his, grinning. Thanks, mister, you're awesome. Ryan stood, brushing his hands on his jeans, meeting Emma's gaze. Me figured that they'd need something to keep. And busy. She took a sip of her flat Coke, eyeing the planes. You're spoiling the man. High enough grin tugging his lips. Guilty wanted to send them off right. These boys ran to a bench nearby, zooming the planes inch mock dogfights, their giggles cutting through the port steam. She shifted the duffel, the weight digging into her shoulder. B, hard your company's toast. Buffett lady's got a big mouse, said the boards freaking out. Yeah, he said, hands back in his pockets. Tanaka's gone, stocks tanked overnight. Might be cutting up in a basement again soon. We have brow arched. I flick of surprise. You're okay with that? He stepped closer, the crowd's noise flooding behind them. Lost more than ideal these past 8 years, Emma. And my dad Bernie are going to be here right now. We have less caught. The letters faded. Emma to love you. Echoing her head. He had to come back then. But now, don't say stuff you can't back up, she warned, voice low, the coke can denting under her grip. B, say you believe you, and M not picking up the pieces if you flake. He met her eyes steady, the morning sun catching the lines on his face. B, M to Emma, not flaking. Mantle will be in Atlanta next week, Coffee Park. Whatever you'll let me do. Emma to Emma in this. Emma for them, for you. Liam's voice broke through. Mom, look, mine's winning. Yeah, she turned, watching them crash their planes into each other, laughing like the world wasn't watching. The loudspeaker crackled. Final call, Miami disembarkation, and straightened, calling them, time to roll, guys. Bissey raced back, hugging Liam's legs quick and hard. Bye, Mr. Liam sighed, fist bumping him. Ethan grinned, playing out of toe. See you soon, right Ryan, ruffled their hair. Throat tight. You bet. Champs, fly safe. Ishima headed them toward the ramp, the duffel bouncing. But she paused, glancing back. Next week, I said. I quite well. I know they. Not I, yes. Not I, no. Just I crack winch the door and led the boys off, their chatter swallowed by the port's chaos. Ryan watched until they vanished, the sun climbing higher. I knew day he hadn't earned but wouldn't waste. 3 weeks later, Atlanta shimmered under ice-sticky summer haze, the air thick with humidity and the drone of cicadas. Emma's little house in Decaturus, eye sanctuary, peeling paint, eye sagging porch. But hers, Beshe stood to inch kitchen, flipping pancakes on ivory dough, that to seen better days. The smell of butter and syrup wafting through the screen door. William and Ethan sprawled at the table, their ships and planes lined up like tiny armada, arguing over who'd win in chai fight. France beat ships any day, Ethan insisted, wobbling his. William smirketto, chomping his shark. Sharks eat planes. Dummy. Knock it off. You too. Emma laughed, sliding plates inch front of them. Eat before it's cold. The doorbell rang sharp, unexpected. Bishe froze, spatula mid-air, then set it down, wiping her hands on her jeans. Stay here, she told them, crossing the door, be through the peephole. Ryan. Inchy eye faded tee and sneakers, eye duffler slung over his shoulder. Eye nervous grin splitting his face. She opened it, leaning on the frame. You're early. Me, Grazdo, your favorite, peace offering. She took it, stepping aside. Get inch here, there inch the kitchen, probable trotting hour. He stepped past, the faint cedar of his cologne brushing her, a memory she didn't fight this time. William spotted him, jumping up. Mister, you're here. Ethan tackled his legs, grinning. Pancakes with us, Ryan set the donuts down, sliding into a high chair. Wouldn't miss it, Chamsu! Mihe passed out the donuts, the boys diving inch, syrup and glaze smearing their hands. Emma watched, leaning on the counter. Spatula forgotten. He caught her eye, mouthing. Okay, she nodded, eye small smile breaking through. Yeah, okay. Visa backyard stretched to green and wired beyond the porch. Eye rusty swing set creaking inch the breeze. They ended up there after breakfast, Ryan pushing Liam and Ethan on the swings, their skills echoing through the humid air. Emma sat on the steps, coffee inch hand, the letter tucked inch her pocket. Had tucked his word, showed up, no fanfare. Just donuts and willingness to push swings. No camera, no boardroom. Just the same, she shipped, the warmth spreading, and let herself picture it. A family, messy and slow built. Starting from this, the day faded, the boys crashing on the couch with Toy Story blaring. Biran joined her on the porch, the sky bruising purple, cicadas singing loud. Thanks for letting me stay, he said, voice low. Means everything. She nodded, looking out. They like you. That's something. He smiled, hesitant. And you. She paused, then met his eyes. Matema, getting there. Slower. Ryan, real slow. He nodded, taking it slow as good. This night settled soft. I knew Don waiting. But Inchiline's duffer. His dead phone held an unread email. Hi, is your dad's debt to us? I lie. We need to talk. A shadow lurking, ready to stir the pot again. Wow, what I rappu. Did Ryan and Emma find their footing? Or is that email gonna flip the script? Hit that subscribe button and drop a I comment. What's your take on this ending? Want more? Let me know, cause the next twist's brewing. Don't miss it.